All right, I'm Karuna Jain. I'm a Reiki master, and I'm here today with Shrikant Darbe. And Shrikant has done Reiki master too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's heard about Holy Fire, and he wants to know a little bit more about it. I have done my Holy Fire Reiki mastership, and my journey was really exciting. So I'm so ready to share with you and answer any questions that you have.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really glad to be here, and I have a lot of questions for you.
Great, go ahead.
Yeah, Holy Fire Reiki just sounds like an amazing title, an amazing thing, and I know absolutely nothing about it, like everybody else probably out there too. From what I hear, it's pretty new, and I'd like to know, actually, first off, what is Holy Fire Reiki?
All right, so it's just another modality of healing, right? And this was brought about by William Reed, who's owner of ICRT, International Center for Reiki, and he kind of rediscovered this aspect of Reiki in 2014. So it's not that, it's pretty recent actually, this Holy Fire. So the Holy Fire, I did the workshop this year, and I was fascinated because it has a lot of visualizations in it, and I'm a hypnotherapist also, so I know the benefits of doing visualizations, but it's a different kind of visualizations here. And I noticed that with my Holy Fire experience so far, working with many clients using Holy Fire, the healing is so much faster. I mean, it's like accelerated the healing a lot. So that itself is a huge benefit of doing Holy Fire. The other thing that I noticed about Holy Fire is the approach is different. It is still Reiki, and we still use Reiki symbols. We don't use some of the symbols that we were using earlier, but many of the symbols we continue to use in Holy Fire. The thing about Holy Fire is also it has a lot of experiences in it. So you are actually doing a lot of inner work when you're doing the workshop. So you are actually going on many journeys within yourself, and that I think is very, very powerful, which wasn't there in earlier Usai Reiki masterships and all that, where everything depended more or less on the teacher who's teaching you, and the standard thing didn't really have inner journeys so much. You would practice breathing and you would do some meditations, but that's about it. So that I think is a big change in this modality of healing, is there are actually very structured experiences you go through, and it's beautiful because you getting to know yourself better, and a lot of messages come to you, and you also learning how to go within and and figure things out in a metaphysical world where things are not linear, right? So that I think is extremely powerful. The second aspect that I liked about Holy Fire is the attunements. So in traditional Usai Reiki, we have attunements where it's one-on-one, right? So the master is attuning each person at a time. That kind of creates a constraint in the number of people you can have in a class, because when you're doing one-on-one, that much time is needed for each participant, and then the other participants have to do something else at that time. So in Holy Fire Reiki, they have done away with attunements. They have something called ignitions, okay, which also is a kind of inner journey. So there's a pre-ignition, and which clears up your energy field, and then there is an ignition. And since it is not one-on-one with the client, you can do it to a group of people. So your class size can increase too. You can actually spread Reiki more faster by doing ignitions versus doing one-on-one.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So then, the word Holy Fire kind of almost sounds like Kundalini. So
Okay.
can you explain the differences between Kundalini versus Holy Fire?
Well, I think the energy world is so big that there are so many aspects to the truth as this space. So I think Kundalini is another aspect, and Kundalini is linked more towards your root chakra and the uncoiling of the energy over there, and that energy moving up. So it's pretty much an approach which is starting based on chakras. Right? Holy Fire has nothing to do with chakras. It's kind of just an energy which you use for the entire energy body.
Okay.
Right? So it not only goes up your chakras, it cleans your energy fields, and actually which Kundalini might be doing in another way, right? Because there's so many different ways to reach the same goal. So I'm not very sure about how Kundalini does it, but in Holy Fire it's like almost, it's not a, well, you could think of it like a physical fire, but it's not hot. It's an energy, right? So it's actually burning through all your different timelines. and clearing out blockages from across many timelines.
Hmm.
Right? So to reach enlightenment, you need to integrate all of your learnings from all of your timelines and bring it all together. Right? That's enlightenment, when you have knowledge of all the different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So holy fire is actually working across a very wide spectrum of frequency.
Hmm.
And it's still new, as we said, it's 3-4 years old. But based on my experience that I've had with holy fire, it actually goes to many, many subtle layers of energy. Right? Because your energy field, if you really think about it in the soul level, is pervasive across the universe. Can you think about it? It's kind of difficult for the mind to even comprehend that my energy is spreading across the entire universe.
Sure.
But it's just a way for us to understand that there are so many layers to our aura, and that can extend infinite miles and miles away. Right? So as you keep going away from the physical body, those frequencies become more and more higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So holy fire in a way kind of goes across all different layers and starts cleaning it. I think even a regular Usai Reiki does that too, just using different frequencies of energy. So based on my understanding, based on my meditation so far using holy fire, it's almost like with traditional Reiki, you're clearing, say suppose for example, and this is just a metaphor, you have 20 layers to your aura. Okay, so almost like Usai Reiki will go across, works really good with the denser layers of your body, right, and cleans it up very nice, but doesn't go to all the 20 layers, right? But with Usai Reiki, holy fire, based on my personal experience and meditation, it seems like holy fire would go across all the 20 layers because the frequency range it covers is much larger. Okay, so for many people, just clearing the first 10 layers itself could take many, many lifetimes, right? Because we have collected so much garbage over all our lifetimes,
True.
which we never resolved.
That is true.
So maybe, there's a traditional Reiki which goes across 10 layers. Maybe that's more than enough for us for many, many lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I would just say that each has its own purpose and each has its own direction in which it cleans up things.
Okay. Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have to experience it to understand more about it.
Yeah. And this
As
journey is an
is-
experiential journey anyway.
Absolutely.
So my experience may not be the same as yours because each
Yeah.
one of us is at a different stage in our evolution, and we have different things to clean up from our past.
True.
So our experiences definitely will be unique. And that happened in the Reiki, Holy Fire Reiki Masterclass too. Everybody's experience was different. And it was amazing because we are all going through the same script, so to speak, about the visualizations. And yet at the end, we all have different experiences. That's so beautiful, isn't
Very
it?
cool. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really awesome. I mean, it's just fascinating how everybody's mind is going in different ways.
Yeah, well, I would love to learn.
And I'm sure you'll
Yeah.
enjoy it. We will have a class soon. In fact, I think it's a great tool for anybody to add to their healing modality, whether you're doing it for your own self or whether you have a healing practice and you want to practice on others. But I think it's really, really powerful for going towards enlightenment, as I say, to get another tool in the box. And I think all the tools are rediscovered by people at the time which is right for the people of people. Right? That's why even though Usai Reiki was discovered by Master Usai, it was already existing many, many thousands of years before him. But he rediscovered it because at that time humanity was ready to accept and work with it. So I think now Holy Fire has been rediscovered again because now we are ready to work at these levels of energy, frequency. So I think it's amazing that how the tools come by again as humanity consciousness increases. So if you resonate with this concept, new concept of Holy Fire, hey, you should go for the workshop and try it out.
Wonderful. I'm definitely going to go.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you in my class one of the days when we start the workshops. But yes, I think it's an amazing tool to learn, and it's so much quicker and faster. And also, I think one thing I forgot to mention was you can actually relax during the process of Holy Fire totally, because you and your ego self and ego mind is not involved at all in the healing process. So I think that that was also very powerful. Even though we know that, even in traditional Reiki, that you shouldn't get involved or attached with your client, you know, you should remain detached, and the healing is faster and quicker. And that takes practice for many people, because it's kind of difficult, since as human beings, we are social beings and we get attached. But with Holy Fire, I've noticed that that feeling of detachment is much more powerful. And that is really great, because I just have to start the process and I can be an observer after that.
Wow.
And Holy Fire just takes over and starts doing the work.
That's awesome.
So you feel like so much stress is gone from you, because you don't have to do anything anymore. You just have to remain in a calm and relaxed state, right? Which you have to do in other Reikis too, and any other form of healing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But here I think this goes, as I said, at deeper levels of frequency it works at. So that feeling of detachment is, you know, understand it at a much deeper level. So like they say, you cannot explain truth, you have to experience it. Same thing.
Same thing.
You have to experience Holy Fire to actually know what it feels like for you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so I think everybody else here will be asking too, is this a in-person class, or can you learn distance as well?
Actually, that's a very good question, because you could learn it at a distance too, because there's no one-on-one interaction. The advantage of being in a class is the fact that we like to use our five senses, right? And that just makes it very powerful for many people, just having that people presence around, right? Then they can connect, they can talk, they can share more easily. Where if you do it at a distance, and now it depends on the distance whether you're still doing a webinar where it is in person. Even though you're across the globe, you can still in person, you can still talk to each other, right? But doing like an online course with that, it can be done, but I'm not sure how effective that would be for everybody, because not everybody is used to a virtual kind of way of learning where you're not connected to the teacher anymore, you're disconnected, and then you just kind of go through the scripts. So I think there is probably pros and cons to that. The con, I would think, is because you're not having a direct connection to the teacher where you can immediately ask questions and work with the teacher. That could be an impediment, because if you have questions in your mind and you can get it answered, then that could make you lose interest in the course, or you may not get the full benefit of the energy. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, it makes sense to me too. I think when I was learning Reiki in general, Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and Reiki Master with you, it definitely is better to have the personal kind of experience in my overall experience and journey, because at least for me, I feel a lot more that way. But when it comes to distance, it does work. It definitely does work.
Right.
And it's all individual.
Exactly.
Everybody has their own feeling
Very
around
true.
it.
Because energy travels across time and space, so it definitely works. But as I said, it having a personal thing, the advantage of the personal thing is that the teacher can understand your energy, and she can change the course accordingly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, which you cannot do in an online, which is more static, fixed content, right? And I see that happening with myself too when I'm doing Reiki classes for people. I may have a curriculum in mind, but I really change it every time I work with the group, because the group energy is different, and based on the energy that I feel in the room, I'll change my curriculum. I might teach more, because the energy might be more advanced. I might add up more techniques and tools to the class, or I might use a different approach, because I can sense the energy of the person and I can see, okay, this approach would be better. Whereas in a class, you can't do that, because it's already pre-structured and pre-put out. So you will still benefit a lot of people, but maybe not as much as if it was one-on-one. And I do a lot of online courses. So, I'm used to doing courses online. But I think in the world of energy, where everything is not fixed, like in the linear world where you do online courses for regular stuff, in the energy world, everybody's energy is different. Right? Every individual has different energies. Right? So when two energies come together, there's a different interaction. And based on that interaction, if the person is sensitive, you will change your curriculum.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we do that in regular life too, right? You meet a friend. With some friends, you can speak differently compared to some other friends about the same topic, right? Because based on, you sense whether this person is picking up what you're saying or not. If it's not, then you change the way of direction of saying things, right? So I think that's what happened in the class. When you come together as a group, the group energy, if the teacher is smart, she can sense the change in the group energy and she can actually modify her stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree.
But the pro of online classes, you can do it from anywhere in the world at your own pace.
Mhm.
So therefore there is a lot of advantages of doing an online class too, because you have the material, you can keep reviewing it over and over again. Whereas in the class, the teacher says this one, and either you made a note of it or you lost it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there are pros and cons to both the approaches, I think. And I think each person has to select what works for them.
Exactly. It's about pretty much what really resonates with you.
Correct.
And just go with that. You can't go wrong.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So some of the experiences that I had, I don't have my notebook with me here right now, but they were just amazing. How Holy Fire really helped me to see what's going on in the world, in the universe, and how it brought about different visualizations to take me on the journey to show what's happening. And if I remember one of my experiences that was so phenomenal, I don't have all the details, but actually I saw the earth. I was outside in space with other beings, okay, and I'm watching earth, and it's almost like she's like a rocket, and there is energy spewing out from her belly, okay, dark energy. So it was like she's letting go of negative energy, and the negative energy is coming out from the bottom of the globe, just spewing out, coming out. And we are all up there and we're cheering and cheering. And the other image that came up to me as I was cheering is like seeing somebody in labor. She didn't look very comfortable as she was doing it, Mother Earth, right? Because she was doing a lot of work in removing all the negativity from her as she's coming up. She's letting go of all these things. So it was not that she was looking very comfortable in the process, but we knew it's just like a mother knows when she's going through labor, that the end result is a baby, right? So even though the process is not comfortable and she may be screaming with pain and labor pains are not fun, still the mother would go through it because the end result is beautiful. And I think that's almost like what I felt for Mother Earth, that this whole process of ascension, of moving to a higher frequency, is not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And a lot of shifts and changes have to happen. So it's just like being in labor. It's painful, it's discomfort, right? But it was so beautiful to see that happening, and all of us just cheering because, she was just letting go. And as she was letting go, she was becoming brighter and brighter, right? And becoming like radiating more and more light.
Cool.
And it was so beautiful to watch from there how she was doing it, and it was just like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Wow.
And it almost feels like that she's coming close to giving birth now. So it's like the last push, and we're just like cheering her to push through it. Just get through it. It's just like you would do for a person in labor. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, we are there. We are there. And we are actually beaming light on her from there, from this space, so that she's using that light to kind of do the final push. And that was just so amazing. It was just, the experience of seeing or sensing or feeling that, give you so much hope that you're on the final stage of ascension and everything is just going to be beautiful. And right now it's so uncomfortable, and we see that the earth is in chaos and there is so much things going on the earth right now. But all that, if we can learn from it and let go, we're going to move into this beautiful new earth.
Wonderful. I can't wait.
I know. So I was having the vision, I was feeling so happy at the end of it, it was just like so beautiful.
That's really great.
And the other experience that I had was also very good, actually. I'm trying to remember it here. Yeah, this was another visualization. So it was almost like we have the earth, right? And then we have layers around her. Okay, imagine there are layers, and the layers closest to her are the darkest, and then as you keep moving away from her, the layers become lighter and lighter. So they are shades of from black to gray, okay, covering the entire globe. Okay. And I had this visualization that I and many beings like me were actually drilling a hole through these layers. Okay. So it's almost like you can see, imagine that you have this whole thing made of charcoal, those colors of gray, and then you're erasing out one full column from there. It's becoming, so it's like almost like we are way showers showing the way how to get out of this, and we are creating these tunnels of light. It goes all the way to out, so you're out of all the layers, right? And many light workers and other people are doing this, so creating these tunnels. So all the other people have to do is find their way to the tunnel, because if they find their way to the tunnel, they can go towards out of these layers.
Oh, okay.
And they can actually ascend.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, because it was like many of these tunnels are already existing around the earth, and all you have to do is find your way to these tunnels, and there are many beings who are working to create these tunnels for you. And you just have to find your way. Once you find your way to the tunnel, then it's great, because the tunnel has already cleared up all the layers. So you just have to climb up and reach all the way to the top. And at the top, when you reach, there are all these beings waiting for you, clapping for you, because you came out of the maze, so to speak. So there's like a whole maze, dark maze, and you found your way out of it.
Yeah.
And that was the game. It's almost like it was a game that we are playing here.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
and the game is to find your way out of this mess, right? And so if you can find your way to this tunnel, then you can actually ascend it, and you're out of the game.
Cool.
And yeah. I know, it's such a beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah, it is so beautiful. That's all I have to do. Yeah, all you have to do is find your way to one of the tunnels. And the tunnel is already cleared up. And
Let's get started. Let's go find a tunnel.
Yeah, and there are a lot of these tunnels already existing, because there's so many beings on the earth who are already working on creating these tunnels. Right? So there is an escape from all this. Well, it's a metaphor for that there's an escape from all the chaos and confusion in this world, from the pain and suffering people are going through, is because they are in the darkness. That's why everything around them is painful, right? So much negativity around them. So they have to find their way towards these tunnels, which are tunnels of light, right? So that's self-effort. And that's what I think is all about, finding your life purpose and finding your soul journey, is basically to ascend out of this darkness, out of pain and suffering, and get out of it, right? So that much effort they have to put in. It's not that the path is not known. The path is already created for you. But all the effort you have to put in is finding your way to find the tunnel. So you have to find beings of higher consciousness. Keep your eyes open for this, and then follow them a little bit, because they will lead you to the tunnel. Right? So it's not as difficult as it seems. The difficulty happens is because we are in darkness, and we think there's only darkness and there's nothing else in this universe. But that's not true. Once you come into tunnel of light, you're getting into the main universe, which is all light.
Yeah.
Right? So all you have to put is the effort in finding your life purpose.
Okay.
Right? So these are two of the experiences that I talked about with Holy Fire, and they was both so beautiful for me.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Right?
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was almost. It's not that we didn't know pieces of it, but the way it brought the whole thing together and put it into a nice picture for me, and explained it to me in this manner. It just felt so beautiful.
Cool. That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So any other questions?
That's it for now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Feel free to connect with me again.
Definitely.
Karuna Healing Center, Karuna Healing Center, and I will answer any of your other questions. And you're already on my wait list for the class.
Yes, I am.
All right. Bye.